Electricity use in offices since the 1960s is a big part of today's global environmental problems. Back in the 1960s, there were a fraction of today's offices that used a fraction of today's electricity. There was no computers, printers, electric staplers, paper shredders, or conference video equipment. There was also no air conditioning and security nightlights. Today, offices think nothing of plugging in another gadget because they can, but all of this plugging in is a big part of today's environmental problems. So offices need to unplug as a start to being good global citizens. Office lighting has increased dramatically since the 1960s. 50 years ago, an office had a few desks and an overhead light. Then there was the desk lights. Then cubicles had stationary desk lights, and businesses added overhead lights. Plus there is conference room lighting, and offices have exterior lights. At night there are security lights and parking lot lights. Times the millions of offices added in the last 50 years, it equals a lot of office lighting that didn't happen 50 years ago. Office temperature control has expanded greatly since the 1960s. Back then, offices had heat in the winter, open windows in the summer, and air conditioning was unheard of. Then society progressed to air conditioning because we could. Today, air conditioning is an expectation, considered a necessity. But thing is, air conditioning cools interiors but warms the planet. Times all the offices added since the 1960s, that's a lot of greenhouse gas emissions because of our temperature control. Offices in the 1960s had electric lights and heat, with manual most everything else, including typewriters. That progressed to electric calculators and pencil sharpeners, then the electric typewriter. Then the computer and printer replaced the electric typewriter. Then those printed pages get put together with an electric stapler. Radios play music and electric scents are dispersed. And today, conference rooms have electric video equipment. Offices in the 1960s had very few electrical machines. There was maybe a coffee maker, but today, offices have copiers and faxes, computers and printers. Then they either have a cafeteria or a kitchen with coffee makers, refrigerators, microwaves, and even stoves. Today, some offices also have fitness centers whose workout equipment is electrical. And so is the temperature control and lights. Plus there are hot water showers and hair dryers. Office parking lots use a lot of electricity. Many are gated, which either uses an electrical card system to verify entry, or they have a manned building that uses electric lights, heat, radios, and computers. Then electricity opens the gate. Then there are lights that are on all night long. This emits greenhouse gases that weren't emitted 50 years ago when we didn't have environmental problems. So even office parking lots are an environmental burden. Conservation is the most urgently needed action on the planet right now, and that includes offices. So to be a good office global citizen, unplug your electric stapler and pencil sharpeners. Turn off lighting during the day and computers when they are not being used, even during meetings and lunch. We also have to turn off air conditioning. The experts say we are at a critical point, so let's not have a big convenience like air conditioning emit the greenhouse gas that will break the environment's back.